All right, thank you so much and welcome everybody to the CAN talk on the counselor's perspective about what drives student and parent decisions on studying abroad. My name is Saqib, and it truly is a pleasure to have you all with us for today's insightful session. A heartfelt thank you to our esteemed panelists and the university reps for joining. At CAN International, we are dedicated to guiding students toward the best global education opportunities, by the way, without any commissions or charges for schools or students. Having said that, I'd like to introduce today's panel. Joining us from Lucknow, we have Nishi Khosla, a career counselor at Jaipuria School. From Delhi, we have Minu Dubey, a school counselor at the K.R. Mangalam Global School. And lastly, Shashank Srivastav, coordinator of the Career Counseling Cell at City Montessori School, also located in Lucknow. And finally, moderating this session will be Khwaja Umam. He is the co-founder of CAN International with more than 15 years of experience in higher education. The last 9 years primarily focused on international education. He has been a regular attendee at various IEM conferences such as NAFSA, AIRC, and IACAC. Thank you all once again for being here, and let's dive straight into this enlightening discussion. Khwaja, over to you.
All right, so thank you so much, Saqib. And first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our panelists tonight who have taken the time and who are with us. And it's obviously a great honor to be talking to you. Each one of you have a lot of experience under your belt. And incidentally, we have these representatives from Tier 1 and Tier 2 cities. So Minu happens to be from a Tier 1 city, which is Delhi. And we have Shashank and Nishi, who is representing a Tier 2 city. So we are definitely going to have a great insight from these two broad segments of cities in India. All right. So I would like to share this with the attendees that we are recording this session, and those who had registered and who may not be able to attend, we will be sending the recording to you. So it will be shared, so we need not worry. And while we move on, I would encourage all attendees, if they have any questions, then they can write them in the chat box, and we will be happy to address. So what we have done is we have a set of questions that we will be discussing with these representatives, the counselors. So when I say representatives, they are actually representing students on the ground, the parent psyche. So we will get to know directly from that gamut of experience that they possess. All right, so I would like to invite each of the panelists to briefly introduce themselves before we get along with our interaction. So let's invite Miss Minu Dubey to talk about herself, and then, of course, followed by Shashank and Nishi.
Hello, everybody, and Khwaja, thank you very much for providing this opportunity to, share our thoughts and talk to various university representatives, because I basically belong to Delhi, and though I have worked in with various curriculums across India, started my career from Delhi, now once again in Delhi, roaming all over India, collecting experience with the various age groups. And I've always been into career counseling. This has been my strength till now. And yes, gaining a lot and more experience with the students coming in every batch. There is a new thing and a new learning coming in every year. So yeah, this is about me.
All right, thank you so much, Minu. Shashank?
Thank you so much, Mr. Khwaja and Team Can, for hosting this event and inviting us and providing this great opportunity. So, a brief introduction. So, I'm Shashank Srivastava, and I'm the College and the Career Counseling Associate at City Montessori School. So, City Montessori School happens to be the world's largest school with more than 62,000 students in a single city. So, I have been associated with CMS, I think, for past around a decade, and growing in the terms of career counseling, because it's never ending learning process. So I have been learning and going through the journey and hoping to get some more brief and knowledge from these kind of session. So thank you so much for inviting.
Thank you so much, Shashank. And of course, Nishi, once again, a very experienced person in the field. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Can and Khwaja and Saki, for inviting me on this panel. And Khwaja said that I have a lot of experience. Yes, I've been there around in the education industry. And I worked for a very long time with an American publishing company. And post-COVID, I switched to career counseling, and it's been almost 4.5 years. And because I had worked with schools, so I always wanted to be associated with the industry. And for me, it's been a beautiful journey being associated with youngsters, and I have learned a lot from them and in my journey as a career counselor, and I enjoy and I'm very, very passionate about what I'm doing. So yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, panelists. And without any further ado, I'll dive directly into our questions. So my first question is to you, Minu. So in your experience, what percentage of students do you think pursue higher education abroad each year?
Here, according to my experience with various curriculums in India, I feel approximately 25 to 30% of the students who actually aspire to go abroad for the higher studies. And it is basically increasing every year. But yes, on an average, I feel 20 to 25% of the students, they do look for the countries outside India.
All right, that's a very interesting number to hear, and of course that would also be reflecting in most cases, the different schools that you've been associated with. All right, so my question to Shashank is that which countries do you think are most popular? I mean, you work with, again, City Montessori School is, like you mentioned, it has world's largest number, and it holds a Guinness Book of World Record for that, actually. So what is the, which are those most popular countries for students, when they are considering higher education?
Yeah. So I think it's very instinctive question when it comes to maybe study abroad, and when parents are approaching to a counselor. Even on the other case, if the students are approaching to a counselor, they come with a confusion in mind that they're asking, ma'am, sir, what is the country preference that would be suiting my say undergraduate study or the courses that I'm looking for, because they have a lot of varieties, a lot of country options. So in the past year that we have observed in our school, if we say, if we rank them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I believe definitely US is a top priority for them. It could be due to several reasons. It could be because the top rank US ranking universities are available. Secondly, I think the scholarship that they get from US universities, which would assist them in their undergrad studies and maybe lower the burden of financial on their parents. Secondly, what we have seen a trend at a level of the tier 2 or maybe at CMS, earlier UK used to be a very popular destination after US. But in the recent year, we have seen a lot of students have changed their preference to Australia. So if I rank them now, earlier it was used to be UK, then Australia. Now I would rank Australia and then UK. It could be several various policies of the government. I will not go deep into that, but that has changed the kind of shift amongst the perception of the students. Even we have some of the IGSC curriculum, one few campuses of IGSC curriculum. Even the student of IGSC curriculums and A levels are preferring US over UK. So that kind of trend we have seen. And apart from that, if we go below that, it would be Canada and Germany, because it's a completely free education, and we have been in German classes. So if we rank 1, 2, 3, I think US, Australia, UK, and then following Canada, Germany, and other countries.
Right. All right. That's very helpful to hear, because again, US definitely being the most sought after destination. All right. So I want to bring in Nishi at this point in time. Nishi, for you, what are the key factors that are influencing students' choice to study abroad? You know, whether is it quality of education, job prospects, or just exploring the culture of any particular region? So your thoughts on that?
So I think the decision to study abroad is, shaped by various factors, which can be categorized into program related and non-program related. So if I look at the program related factors, then it's the quality of education, the academic reputation, which is paramount. And students often seek institutions which are known for their excellence in specific fields, because for them that can enhance their educational experience and career. Also, many students feel, that their chances of employability increase, and naturally exposure to international job markets and acquiring global competencies are significant motivators. Another factor which can help is, availability of scholarships and financial aid. And besides these, the other factors which are non-program related are cultural exposure, a strong desire to experience new cultures, and they seek opportunities to learn about different lifestyles. And of course, these factors are sometimes influenced by their family and friends, who have gone abroad and have shared their experiences. So I think these are the factors.
All right. So so it's a good mix, and again, like you mentioned, a lot of factors influencing their decision. So I would like to bring in Shashank again here. Shashank, so what do you think? How important is the role of parents when it comes to students taking decisions? When they have to again explore higher education outside India.
Yeah, I think parents are the utmost important, and they play quite a significant role, to the extent of the influence that may often varies to the individual because of their family background, their demographic, the area that they are residing. So what I believe is the parents should be involved with the very beginning, as the study abroad process for the student starts. Even with the counselors, when their students are coming for any kind of a help or any kind of guidance about study abroad, at that moment I believe the parents should be involved into the process to let them know what the student is about to do or go through. Because it's, even on the financial aspect, if you look, it's not a small amount they would be indulging into a student's studies. It would be a huge amount. So parents should be clarified at the very beginning of the stage, as soon as the student appears in the counselor's room. And at CMS, what we do, we kind of float a parent consent form. Suppose if student is coming to a counselor for any kind of guidance about study abroad, or even if they want to pursue with their application process, we circulate a parent consent form for the students to first have a signature of the parents. to let them know what their students is about to go through to a journey, because we have been seeing case that student applies and completes the process, and sometimes parents are not aware, and once the parent come, they actually kind of a shock for them that they have gone through the complete process. So what I believe, parents are the utmost plays utmost significant role, because they are the person who will be financing their studies. They'll be providing them support throughout the complete journey, the visa, the tickets, the money. So what
Right.
I believe, the parents would have utmost significant role plays in the role of the study abroad process for the student.
Absolutely, absolutely, and especially talking of the undergrad segment, it becomes even more significant. You know, students going right after their high schools. All right, so I want to bring in Nishi again at this point and ask her that how do students, prioritize? Is it I mean, considering the region or university ranking, or the specialization of programs when they are selecting any university? So, what are those factors, and like how do these factors play a role?
Although they are all important factors, it entirely, I think, depends on the student's personal circumstances and choices. So most students place a high value on program specialization, as it directly aligns with their academic interests and career aspirations. And they also look for universities that offer specific programs or majors that cater to their intended career path. While overall rankings are important, many students also look at specific program rankings, which can provide more relevant insights into the quality of education in their field of interest. I came across a survey which said that approximately 87% of students consider the academic reputation of a university when making a choice. And third is the region. And of course, they look for countries which are closer to home, and urban versus rural settings, and the overall lifestyle of a particular area. So the choice of region can affect not just the because they know that the choice of region can not just affect the educational experience, but also their social life and living conditions. Yeah.
All right, that's insightful. Thank you so much, Nishi, on that. Oh, okay. So, Shashank, to you again. How significant are scholarships? So, of course, we come across students talking about that. So, what, in your opinion, your experience, is the significance of scholarships when they are to make a decision,
Right.
for choosing a university?
Right. I think scholarship definitely plays a very significant role in a student's decision, maybe about to study abroad and to choose university as well. I believe mostly in tier 2 cities, because what I feel, as most of them are very first generation in their family, or they are the first one to go out to abroad. So there are a lot of financial implications and burden that the parent have to go through. So while the student get the scholarship, it significantly reduce the burden on the parents about the study abroad process, while it also give the affordability to the students, because as soon as a parent or the student comes to the counselor's room, especially the parents, they'll ask about the tuition fee, what's the cost that they would need to incur into that. And if a clear picture is given to them, that's it's would be around going to be a huge investment, they kind of think of various other plan option. So definitely scholarship kind of lesser their burden. And apart from this, I would just like to give some examples at a school as well. So like every year there are around 100 students at CMS who receive admission offers from abroad universities, various countries. And last year, if I give the data, out of 100, say around 61 got the scholarship. But what was the conversion rate that were actually able to make to the university? It was around the conversion rate, say, of 30 to 35%, while many of them back out due to the financial implications or the budget constraint. So scholarship definitely helps them think of that option, and it also kind of provide them confidence and motivate them to do extra hard in the university, because if they're getting a scholarship, it motivates them to get it on the regular basis and able to perform well in their academics. And one more example, like if a student gets a scholarship from a certain university, like one of our student got the Lester B. Pearson Award from University of Toronto last year, and the very next year, this year, we have seen a lot of application rise to that
Right,
specific
right,
university. So
right.
they are very much
Get
keen and
motivated.
thinking and motivated towards to get a scholarship from those universities. So it definitely plays a huge role for the
Right,
students
right,
and the parents as well.
right. No, very interesting point being made over there by Shashank, that it could add to, other students getting motivated. So I think the university reps listening out there could kind of pay attention to that. All right. So okay, let me bring back Minu to the discussion. Minu, so do students often inquire about financing options, and also maybe asking about the part-time work opportunities, or loan assistance and cost of living? So all these factors, do you get questions related to these?
These questions are mostly basically not from the students' direct side, but yes, parents are very much interested into this. Because students, the foremost interest of the students is to get to the university and make it financially viable, so that their parents are also not burdensome. But as an insight, as a counselor, we do give them these options that, if you have these options of working part-time in your weekends, in universities, outside, so that you are able to, sustain the social life also and your personal life as well. So because definitely, some of the students who in alumni, they come and they talk to the students, then definitely the students' first question is, how viable financially the country is. And also from the parents' side, this constant impetus is coming that, we have to just make it financially viable. Because number one, Delhi students, definitely they are more or less, they are not eager to work so hard to get the scholarships. Although we do tell them that, the scholarships criteria is your higher grades. So still, definitely it motivates to some of them, but most of them, they just want to make the most out of their parents' wealth. Right. So that is why it becomes our duty to tell them that these are the viable options. So go for them.
Right, right. Interesting. So I would like to continue with you, Minu, with my next question. And that is that what are those most common questions that you come across from students?
So the most common question is that where can I get my course? So I think it's like fortunately that the students are more focused now, right from grade 11 when they enter, they know what to do. So right from grade 11 and grade 10, they start preparing for the courses they want to pursue. So so their first question becomes is that which universities have my courses which I want to pursue. Secondly, they come up with some preferences of the countries. So they do, if like, for example, if they are looking for UK, then they would like to go in for the highest ranked university. So they will ask for the rank of the universities. And then third question comes is that the finance is very important.
Right.
So if I've seen the students not making up to the universities which are very high ranked universities, but due to finance they have backed out. So this thing, whenever the universities fairs are there, I always tell them that, bring in somebody who can actually make them understand about the scholarships, who can make them understand about how they are going to manage their finances, because it is a very pressing questions to students as well as parents. So they definitely do ask for it, and then they somehow talk that, okay, where can I find a university which is cost effective university with my course and with the good ranking also. So it becomes a kind of a it becomes very difficult to match the coordinates at that point of time.
Right. Well, that's something very interesting that has come up. Now the universities can obviously, with the insights that we are getting, can also ascertain as to what should be their talking points, when they are interacting with students, and, also try to connect with parents. And also another interesting point that comes up here is that you can touch base with students as early as class 11th or the 11th grade, or because like you mentioned, there's start making up their minds, and sometimes even before. So yeah, very, very interesting points coming up there. Well, I would now like to invite Nishi again, and this question is to you, Nishi. Well, are there any recurring concerns students have about studying in specific countries or in any institutions that you've come across?
I think a common factor, which, I mean, they are more or less the same, whether it's the UK or the US as a destination. So although children here in India, they are proficient with English, but I think language somewhere proves to be a barrier, especially, in UK, where the accent is so strong. And so there I feel that it's a bit challenging for them. And so, it's a little difficult for them to communicate in their daily life. And so that is one. Secondly, more or less for everybody, it's a culture shock, because they have to adapt to a new lifestyle, their social norms, and because it's all very different to their home country. So sometimes I feel this adjustment period can be quite overwhelming, and it leads to feelings of isolation or frustration. The third point is that that there are differences in the grading systems. So, or the styles may vary which faculties adopt there compared to India. And this academic expectation can create confusion and stress. And another thing which I feel they keep, they have it in mind, but they are not really prepared for the unexpected costs which relate to tuition, accommodation, living, and sometimes they don't find accommodation on campus, so they have to find it outside. So that is another factor, for they are concerned about the safety, the cost. And yeah, I think that's about it. And of course, then they miss their family, friends, and familiar surroundings. So all this can lead to emotional distress.
Right. Well, that's again something very interesting that you've mentioned, because when we know that most of at least US universities have a lot of support system for international students. There is this Department of International Student Support Services that helps. So I think this is again a good insight for university representatives to talk about those facilities that are available, so that students and parents, when they get to hear of those facilities, they feel relaxed and are comforted about these hesitations that they have. So I think a good point coming out there as well. All right, so now I have an open to all question, and I have also at one of the annual NAFSA conferences have presented on the opportunities that tier 2 cities present in India. So I want to ask you, and any of you can choose to maybe uh, shed some light on that. And so I want your views on the importance of tier 2 cities, and I mean, particularly with respect to students choosing to go outside. And do you think students from these cities are increasingly looking to explore higher education outside, and particularly talking of US? And is this sort of a growing trend that we are experiencing? So please, any of you, and rather all of you, can chip in one at a time. Whoever wants to go first.
Yeah. So I'll just take this opportunity to go first.
Sure.
So if we see, because we have been constantly monitoring a data system as well in terms of study abroad. So definitely we have seen a rise. We have been monitoring them since I think 2015 onwards. And we have seen a constant growth in the students that are applying abroad because of definitely the opportunities, the experience, the research facilities that they are getting, and other maybe peer-to-peer connection, the alumni coming back and giving them a broader prospects about a study abroad and the universities like. And apart from that, I'll not disgrace this Indian education system, but due to coming of these exams where you are not much required with your grade 11th and 12th marks, you can just give the entrance exam and get various universities. So that kind of a competitiveness, that's kind of something that's missing while they're not in 11th and 12th. So that kind of something are now encouraging students to apply to study abroad and looking the options abroad rather than staying back and looking for the opportunities. So definitely we have seen a growth in the trend in the past few years in tier 2 cities. And definitely we have seen tier 2 cities students getting huge scholarship and getting into the top university. So definitely they have compassion, they have self-belief, and definitely they are eager to go out and explore the world.
Absolutely. Very, very encouraging to hear that. Yes. Anyone else? Ladies.
To add here, basically, I would like to share this information that all the residential schools in Delhi, in India, especially towards Uttarakhand, towards Rajasthan, the students, all of them, they look for the studies abroad. All of them.
Right. So, that's true. Yeah, these are tier 2 cities pretty much, these big residential schools in the northern part of India, the hill schools, and like you mentioned, even in Rajasthan. So yes, that's true. Nishi, you want to pitch in there as well?
I think now, that awareness has increased, and they have easy access to information. So, and plus there are counselors like us in schools.
Absolutely.
So, that has made it quite easy for them to apply to universities, to look for scholarships, and sort of, that helps them. And another factor I feel is that household incomes have increased.
Very right.
And, parents are more conscious and aware that, what is the increased demand also in the job market. Everybody wants skills and competencies which will make them, job ready, their employability skills, etc., which they feel that are much better if they pursue education abroad. So
Absolutely. Yeah, so I think another very important point coming out from that, that students at tier 2 cities are definitely looking at options. And we have like Nishi mentioned, growing bulging middle class and high incomes there as well, which is again stimulating that interest, for exploring opportunities outside India. And of course, not to forget the cutthroat competition that India has to go through, and the students have to grill through. So definitely all those factors motivating students to explore opportunities outside India, not to, of course, demeaning the facilities that India has. I mean, of course, we have IITs, IIMs, but again, those numbers are still, despite the increased numbers, we still need more. The demand and supply is just not meeting. Well, yeah, so thank you so much. And that was my last question for this interaction. And we'll be happy. I mean, this is for the attendees, we'll be happy to take questions from anyone. I haven't seen any questions typed into the chat area, but I mean, I can wait for a few seconds. If somebody wants to ask any question, we'll be happy, and our panelists will be happy to take them. And nonetheless, we will, like I had mentioned earlier, we will be providing the recording to the attendees and the registrants, rather. So if you do not have any questions at this stage, we can wrap it up. And just before we wrap it up, I would want to let our attendees.
Khwaja Sahib,
Yes.
there is a question by
Yes.
MA on
Right.
visa policy.
Okay. So, well, I mean, obviously, we are talking of US education. So, can you please elaborate a little bit about? I mean, on your question, I mean, what exactly are you trying to ask on visa policy? Because obviously, if we talk of US, well, the visa policies I mean, we really are not here to comment on that. I mean, again, that is for the US government to decide. And unfortunately, none of the counselors are also in capacity to address that. But yes, if there is anything specific you would like to ask, we'll be happy to. But of course, I mean, until last year, what I can share with you is that US had, I mean, India sent in big number of students. Of course, the focus was still grad, but again, it's an increasing trend, and even undergrad is increasing. So that's something that I can share as of now. All right, so if you do not have any more questions there, so I just want to share with the universities that we have our spring high school visits lined up for the Latin America region, Mexico, Pakistan, India, Southeast Asia, and the Middle East. So you definitely can explore that. And well, once again, thank you so much for taking the time, for joining, and particularly the panelists. I'm extremely thankful for them to be here and sharing their thoughts. Very, very insightful. And I'm sure there'll be many takeaways for the universities, particularly when they're traveling, the talking points, what they should stress on. I think that that's the whole purpose of this CAN Talk. All right. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for everyone joining in from across the globe. Thank you once again for taking the time. And
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Watch out for our next round. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank
It's been
you.
a pleasure.
Bye-bye.